So Alison says, perhaps we could continue this conversation inside. I had a lot of things prepared for you.
Yeah, you probably summon us here with a reason and plan, so...
Yes, let's go inside and see the library.
Don't touch the book.
You step inside of the university. It is filled with books everywhere. There are books littering the floor. There are books all over the desks and the chairs in the classrooms. The library itself is filled to the point where there are piles of them on the ground. And there are some of them that you notice as you're walking by. Some of the books are bleeding red constantly out of them. They're usually closed books inside of the rows and rows of books. And they have white and golden buckets put under them that is collecting the blood. And Alison doesn't seem to mind all of this. She is just taking you to what looks like the teacher's break room and gets you to sit around at the table. She and Apollo have prepared all sorts of drinks. You know that right now you're insubstantial, so it's just for having something to do with your hands. You can tell that she was really eager to have people finally come and visit her, and so like she has prepared a lot. You all sit down at the table and she says, I had something planned for you today. I wanted to take you on a trial run of the great book and evaluate how you would do in a situation. I borrowed the memory of my master, a specific memory about a case that happened in the 1930s, and I thought you could visit that memory and act upon it the way you would act upon a verse in the great book, and we could observe what you're doing, see how well you're doing, and if we need to prepare you some more before you're ready to go into the great book. I have the utmost faith in you. Unfortunately, we might have to move this test back because of our guest. But listen, Eric, if you want to keep your father's legacy going, once we've explained, would you be okay with just trying it? Going into a memory, seeing what it feels like to be working to save the world with us. I'm sure your uncle would be very proud of you if you did this. I knew him well, and he cared about you a lot.
How could he care that much?
He prepared something for you. Stefan, when you're back into the real world, you can go and get it. He had a work in white prepared for Eric. He prepared an alchemical substance that would allow you to resurrect your diva, so that you could be one of us when the time was right. If you want.
And if I don't want, you're just gonna kill me?
That would not be fitting of us, but you have to understand, the Hermes are trying to catch us and kill us. We need to uphold secrecy, so we would be taking great risk. But
I thought you were a subgroup of the Hermes.
Yes, but they hate us. They were trying to spread occult secrets that they want to keep for themselves. Our ideas are radically different, and they try to kill us when they have the chance. They are the ones who killed everyone in the first Project Ascension.
Okay, and why you just don't spread massively the information instead of just shooting small piece of it?
Because if we did this, they would find us and they would kill the people who spread it. It's very dangerous, but we try to. Also, you have to think, this is the GM speaking, you have to think that the internet in the year 2000 is not what it is right now. We are all used to the way it works and everything, but actually the neo-Hermes are really, really hyped about the internet becoming a thing, because that's a really good way for them to spread their message in a more discreet manner. And that's probably why one of you is like so good at computers. But it also means that right now they're not at this point yet where they can do that safely.
Mr. Douglas, if this can help you, well, you can look at this pretty much as your own profession. There was a crime upon humanity, and all we try to do is to shine a light and reveal the mystery and the hidden things about that crime. and show it to the world. Maybe even your qualities and knowledge can help this cause.
What
And
does it
believe me,
involve
if
if I drink this chemical potion?
Apollo says, well, you would be equipped with one of my siblings, a diva that would help you and give you supernatural strength and help for the fight you're about to engage in.
Or, volcano.
There will be no volcano throwing.
But believe me, we are at the moment in a very strange place, far away from the material world. And if we meant any harm, or we want you dead, you will probably be dead or
I'm
far
gonna look
away.
at the young man, Philip Katsaros. Do I know him with my research or not?
Yes,
Okay, I know everyone's name.
yes.
Okay, and you, Mr. Katsaros, you're pretty quiet and no offense, but you doesn't really fit here. You're quiet. Are you gonna talk?
Look, my mind is in a million places right now, both in celebration and trying to understand how we're supposed to bring you along with all this. Not that I don't think you're necessarily going to be a burden, because obviously your uncle led you here for a reason, but we don't know a damn thing about you.
As I don't know a lot of all of you. What you guys are doing in life except of this?
Well, as every person, we have our jobs, our careers, our goals, human things. We're just the basic humans, just we are more connected to the...
Okay, and I'm asking you, what are those human things?
Well, I am a professor, you can check it out at the university, teach chemistry.
Which university?
We established it was Cambridge because that's
Yeah.
because of the botanical.
But I am a guest professor from Prague.
Mr. Katsaros, what are you doing?
I can't remember what job I decided on.
Your character was part of the army, but technically you are all employed at the Gemini Observatory by the different nations that are running it.
Okay, I thought that might have been it because I was like, I don't remember having like a regular old human job in this moment.
You're technically all supposed to contribute to the research of the observatory, but because a lot of this research is supernatural and goes to the Hermes, your official job titles at the observatory are somewhat smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I just work at the observatory. I mean, I've done other things with my time, but for now, that's where I'm staying until we figure out how to save humanity, to put it quite bluntly.
And by the way, nobody gave me their name, and I'm like, and you, Mr. Katsaros, and you, Mr. Nanam, just saying.
No, we are working at laboratory at the observatory. Playing clothes, that tags with the name. Like you need to wear in official
impressive.
field.
Yeah, we have like all of our
Impressive if you got name tags.
Yeah.
Miss Rainfield, what about you?
Well, like the rest of us, I'm currently working at the observatory doing research, but usually I'm working with the Red Cross and other humanitarian efforts. But since you seem to know us all by name already, I'm surprised you don't already know what we do. Mr. Douglas, was it?
I was trying to confirm the information I have, in fact. And last one is Mr. Hill.
General maintenance, making sure all the electronics run. A lot of technology in these buildings,
And the janitor is part of this?
Addison is going to answer and say, oh, yes. He is not technically on your Hermes because he turned down my offer to become one a long time ago, but Kawa Palakiko is a dear ally to us. He...
Protect your secret, as I understood.
Yes.
Not very well, because at the
Not very
moment,
well, yeah.
at the moment you mentioned the project is like, oh, how did you know about that? So I would reconsider the person that keeps your secrets.
Yeah.
It's a bit complicated. He didn't know the other members of the first Ascension project, but he knew your uncle, and I think it might have been a moment of weakness for him when he trusted you, because you look a lot like your uncle. But could you all tell him to be more careful about this, and also tell him that I am well, and make sure to... there is a lot of things I wish I could tell him. But just for now, just tell him I'm happy that he got the job at the observatory, and that I'll be able to send him messages again through you when you come over here to visit me.
We'll make sure to tell Kahua.
Thank you.
It is
So can you
possible
tell
for
us
me
more
to-
about task on hand? So you mentioned something about your master.
Yes, my master witnessed a crime, or a series of crimes in the 1930s, and she consigned the memory of these events to her memory palace, just like all of those Hermes who have memory palaces do for important memories. And it is possible to visit those memories physically. And the mystery still hasn't been solved. I try to prepare it to be the closest conditions that you will have when you're in the Great Book. So you are going to go in not knowing a lot of details, and you will have to discover what the mystery is all about while you're inside of the memory. You're going to have to attempt to resolve the mystery, not only finding the correct culprit, which no one has in the past, but also you're going to need to do it without doing any actions that could be considered evil. Because if you do this in the Great Book, you could fail to rewrite the history correctly. That is not to say you cannot steal or fight, but you have to always be doing the right thing. It's a complicated issue, what is or is not the right thing. Even divas and archons have a hard time deciphering the limit, but that is going to be your task. Apollo will be observing you during the entire time to make sure that you're doing it properly. And while she's talking, you hear Apollo, who is coughing politely, and she turns to them, and Apollo is pointing his pocket watch. And Allison doesn't look at it. Allison says, "No, it's okay. We still have time. And he seems to be a bit more insistent, but she keeps going the conversation with you.
I just say, wait, what time is it?
Yeah, what time is? How much we have?
We still have time. And Apollo is saying, actually, we don't. And Allison looks down at herself, and you hear the bell of the university ringing, and there is a look of fright on Allison's face, and she looks up at all of you and she says, "Oh, I'm really sorry about this." And the coffee stains on her t-shirt start to spread wider and redder. And there are now huge holes in all of her torso, and they grow bigger and bigger, and she collapses onto the table in front of you and sprays a bit of blood around, and then all of her body and all of the blood just disappears. And Apollo says, "Oh, I tried to warn her. Don't worry, she'll be back in just a minute." And from the entrance of the university, you can hear her voice saying, I'm sorry, and her voice is getting closer until she arrives back into the room, and she looks, just as she did just before. And Apollo says, "Well, I suppose now there's no reason to have the rule for you to leave before 1 o'clock. And she sits down in front of you, she takes her place again, and she's saying, so the memory.
Hey, whoa,
Yeah.
what just happened?
I'm not one to judge, but are we in danger, or was that warning just out of shyness?
It's just I died at 1 a.m. and the memory of my death is repeats in the loop. I guess it's not very polite to die in front of your guests. You see,
By this time, you were all supposed to be in the memory.
Ah,
It's not very polite to die in front of guests. Okay.
I mean, depends on the guests. I'm sure with explanation, it would be okay. I was just afraid that we were all going to die as well.
No, of course we're in a memory palace. It's perfectly fine. We're not insulted or anything.
people can die in memory palaces too. Mine is relatively really safe. And all of you except Eric have physical regeneration.
What?
Poor Eric.
Allison says, does someone want to serve as an example, or shall I?
Oh, I'll do it.
No, that's not necessary. That's not necessary.
She knows what she's doing. I mean, for the most part, she's a smart woman. If she needs help, she'll ask.
Agatha volunteers.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. How is your character going to hurt herself in order to show off your healing abilities?
Mr.
I'm the
Douglas,
same way.
I believe you're carrying a pistol?
A revolver, yes?
Oh yes, it was a revolver.
No, I'm not gonna shoot on anyone.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine.
What do you mean it's perfectly fine?
We have regenerative properties.
So I can shoot anywhere.
I wouldn't aim for anywhere important. But you can shoot me in the arm, for example.
Can I just hit you with my fist?
Well, I mean, that wouldn't show much regeneration, would it?
I'm not really comfortable to hurt anyone, especially a good-looking woman as you.
Thank you. All right. Any other volunteers?
I kind of stand there awkwardly and I pull out my pistol.
Philip.
Oh, I see
Alright.
that I'm not the only one that is armed.
So I know you'll regenerate, but
I'll do it.
won't hurt too much. Okay.
I'll
I
do
hand you the gun. It's like you're my coworker. I don't want to shoot you. I feel like that ruins the friendship.
So, just one thing concerning life points and regeneration. Weapons always do the same damage, except if you're doing something to augment the damage. For example, you can have the heavy damage prime if you're aiming at somewhere in particular. When you heal, you can spend an ounce of karma to heal 4 damage points, and swords, along with guns, do 4 points of damage, 8 if you are fused. Also, feel free to describe how the regeneration looks for you in particular, because it might look different for different people.
And like with this, does it like still hurt as much as actually being injured, just with that fear of immediate death?
It still hurts. It still does hurt quite a bit. When you've had those regeneration properties long enough, especially if you're fused, your brain doesn't register pain in the same way.
Okay.
So it depends on how
they might be a
long.
little more
Yeah,
terrifying.
exactly.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what's going through Philip's head right now. It's like, I know the logic and science behind it, but emotions.
Are you 100% sure that your thing's gonna work?
Sure.
Sure.
Sure, it's fine. It's fine. This all
You-
does work the same here, right, Allison?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Philip, do you have what kind of gun was it?
It was a pistol.
A little pistol. Okay. She takes the pistol from Philip, pulls back the hammer, points it at her upper arm, takes a deep breath. Allison, are you perfectly sure that this works the same way here?
I can do it, Apollo office,
Thank you. My goodness.
but because I'm not human, I'm not sure it prove anybody. Anyways, they shoot themselves in the head, and you can see a very clear hole through which the bullet has passed. And Apollo turns to show it to you. Turns specifically so you can see it. And then there is a white light coming from inside of their skull that starts to seep out. And after a few seconds, the wound is gone.
So see, that's how it works. Oh, have you ever been shot before, Mr. Douglas?
I'm a private detective. I'm not a soldier. I was not shot. I try to avoid to be shot, and the weapon is more a threat than something that I plan to use, to be honest.
Would you like to try it now?
No, that won't happen.
Please don't shoot our guest until after he has...
connection with the diva.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it won't work on you, Mr. Douglas.
Not until we are back and
You know what, Miss Redfield? I will say that I don't doubt it will work, but I don't feel the need to test it.
Yeah, you are a believer, huh?
All right. So now, Eric, it's time. Apollo keeps pointing their watch. You can't stay unconscious in reality forever, I think.
Oh, whoa! What do you mean unconscious in reality? So I'm still back there?
Yes, all of your bodies were left behind. Don't worry, it's only lethal to certain types of humans, and I know your uncle, so I know it will have no damage on your body whatsoever. But yes, I think perhaps we should try to minimize the time that you all spend here so you avoid attracting the attention of the Hermes. And also, I worry that my friend Kawa Halakiho will be worried at how long we've been gone.
And not to mention my assistant, Mrs. Jones.
Oh, yes, we'll have to find a way to cover everything up with your assistant too.
I'm gonna take care of that. You don't do anything.
But before you leave, we have to have your word. You will not speak a word of what you've seen today, and maybe that you will join us.
My character would look at everyone present in the room, and he's gonna say, it was a shocking evening, but if what you tell me is right, you guys seems to be a bunch of good person that tries to do what's the best for the people. So I won't share your word as long as you don't give me a reason to do it.
All right.
Like throwing me in a volcano, for example.
I mean, if we end up throwing you in a volcano, I don't think we have to worry about what you think.
Never underestimate a private detective.
All right.
So, no, I won't betray you. Join, I'm not sure, but I will surely see if I can assist you, but I will do my verifications, I will do my research, and I will learn every secret from all of you. So if someone has something to hide, it's the good moment to tell me.
No, we have nothing to hide. Well, we are here to find the hidden things. Nothing that we will hide. We just hope you will follow.
So how do I go back to my body?
Alison makes a gesture with her hand, and Apollo leaves the room, and they will be back in a few minutes with a book. And that book is titled My Dear Friend Stefan Lisowski. They put it on the table and said, whenever you wish to leave, your way back to the real world is through the memory palace of someone who is still alive. And it is as easy to exit a memory palace of someone who is alive as it is to have a thought. So you'll just have to desire it and you will be back in your body.
From anywhere?
From anywhere within the memory palace, yes.
And what's the so I must say this sentence and think to come here or leave?
Oh, no. Just open the book. The book will take you immediately to Stefan's memory palace.
Memory. I'm not still sure what's the crime that we are investigating.
If you're going to go back and you're not going to try to solve it tonight, I'd rather not tell it to you, because if you do too much research, it might spoil some of the little surprises I've prepared for you inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will trust you as always.
You will know soon enough.
I mean, we still have some time tonight.
Myself, I'm supposed to leave, so I'm gonna leave for now.
If you wish, you can still come back tonight, if you have time.
We'll see.
Alright.
I'm gonna wave my hat and say, good night.
So Allison turns to look away from you when you take the book in your hand, and so does Apollo.
Have we seen this sort of thing before?
Apart from Stefan, none of you know how it works exactly, but you can tell that basically in a memory palace you store all of your memories in different ways, and apparently it seems to be books for Allison, which means that there's a good chance that once the book is open, you might be dragged in it too if you're looking in this direction.
Alright, then I'll turn around.
I'm gonna start to look at the people that just turn around and say, am I gonna explode?
No. You might feel a little woozy, but
Why is everyone turning around?
it's time to go. And we open the book.
So when you open the book,
Black letter
start to come out of it and envelop anyone who
is looking in.
direction and just grab them and drag them in. For anybody else who wants to stay in here, it just looks like those people disappeared instantly. So Stefan and Eric, you two arrive in a beautiful garden with thousands of plants, and that is traversed by a small river of water. Stefan, do you want to describe the rest?
Well, it's a kind of a small botanical garden, but it's not that much arranged. It is a little bit left to grow widely, and there is some noble flowers, but there are also some meadow and wildflowers. And there is a small pond of the water and few benches there. And there is like overwhelming smell and fragrant the flowers inside.
Oh, it's really nice, but I was expecting to come back to the observatory.
And the instant you say this, you open your eyes and you are inside of the same room with the vault door, and everybody else is on the ground unconscious.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to be a part of this story, we are currently looking for more players and game masters to play new games in this setting and on this channel. You can also be a part of the story by having your face added to the cast of characters. I draw all of the images for this game, and you can commission me to make you into an NPC. If you like the style and you want a drawing like that of yourself, or if you want to contribute to the project, you can contact me through the links in the description. Finally, if you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day, everyone.